Well, as we announced just a few minutes ago, the American country singer Dolly Parton, known for smash hits like Jolene and 9 to 5, has died at the age of 80. Joining me now, the music journalist Matt Charlton. Matt, good evening.
Good evening.
Look, we knew that there were health issues. We didn't know what, because Dolly Parton had to cancel some appearances, hadn't she, in October. What more can you tell us about the sad death of Dolly Parton today?
Well, she spoke to People magazine on Friday saying that she was dealing with some health issues that she just didn't pay attention to for a while. And that's really the last that we heard of her. And even though we knew that she'd been dealing with stuff, it still always comes as a shock when we lose a musician because of the joy they bring to the world, but also in this particular instance, and it's easy to go to hyperbole when we lose someone, but she was a true giant of her genre. She was such an influence, such an overarching influence over so many years, a really, really important figure.
She was iconic, wasn't she?
Yeah. I mean, you don't have your own.
She is iconic, I suppose we can still say.
Exactly. I mean, she's going to live on. You know someone has really made it if you recognise the silhouette, and by God, do we recognise the silhouette of Dolly Parton?
She had some huge hits, and you will struggle to find a person who doesn't know at least some of the lyrics to at least one Dolly Parton song. She remained relevant, didn't she, from the height of her career to where we are now. Was that always the case? Her career was decades long.
Well, she broke through into the mainstream really with 9 to 5, and that was the early 1980s, I guess. And if we're talking about relevance, then she was on Beyonce's last album. Beyonce covered Jolene with her in the track too. So we can see the line that she has drawn throughout music history for 45 years of influence. And that's bleeding into pop music. We're not even touching on country and western yet. And she is a true giant. There's probably like a holy trinity of Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton. That's the country music holy trinity, and she is a giant. She
also wrote I Will Always Love You, the Whitney Houston smash hit.
She wrote I Will Always Love You and Jolene in one day, in the same day, in one afternoon. They just came to her. That's, I mean, you could call it lucky, but I mean, I would call that God-given talent. It's an extraordinary thing to be able to say.
And she was, she came from very humble beginnings, I understand, Matt. It's been described as a shack, the place where Dolly Parton was born, with a dirt floor.
She came from absolutely nothing and died amongst rhinestones, I would imagine. And I think that's why she always kept she was always very humble, very modest. She was a huge philanthropist too, let's not forget that. And she had such a sense of humour about herself. I mean, of course, the famous quote is, "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap." But some of the other brilliant quotes I've just been reading it was a good thing I was born a girl, otherwise I'd be a drag queen. And I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb and I know I'm not blonde either. I just think to have that sort of deference and sense of humour about yourself when you've made it that big, and you could be completely detached from the world, and to have a responsibility to give back too. She had a massive reading program in the United States. It really just speaks of her character beyond her music.
Yeah, look, Matt, thank you for being with us. Really appreciate it. Matt Charlton, who's a music journalist, will continue, of course, to bring you more on this story. There's a statement that's been put out by Dolly Parton's PR team confirming the death. Global icon and humanitarian Dolly Parton, known to the world as a beloved singer, songwriter, philanthropist, actress, playwright and author, died peacefully today in Nashville, Tennessee. She was 80 years old. A rhinestone life that shone bright enough for the world to see. Dolly will forever stand as an inspiration, not only through her timeless music and prolific songwriting, but also her wit, warmth and kindness that made us all feel like family. That from Dolly Parton's public relations team.